You've probably heard about the global financial crisis of 2008 at least once. Back then, a huge bubble burst, the US real estate market. A massive number of well-known banks in America and around the world either closed down or were on the brink of bankruptcy. Personally, I counted over 85 such cases. And I'm only talking about regular banks, not shady operations. Because there were probably over 1,000 of those. But, there was one company for which this was the best thing that had ever happened to it. Just imagine, it now controls $10 trillion. To put this in perspective, that's 40% of the GDP of the world's largest economy, the USA. The name of this company is BlackRock. Nathan Rothschild once said, "Buy when there is blood in the streets." And in the original, he even added, "Even if that blood is your own." BlackRock is built in such a way that it's become richer always, both when the market is rising and when it's fallen completely. Today you will learn how one mistake that ruined a person's reputation helped create artificial intelligence more than 20 years before ChatGPT. First of all, let's figure out what BlackRock is all about. Imagine you suddenly have 50 grand. For example, you sold an apartment, and you want to invest this 50 grand somewhere. You have a few options. The first option, you can keep it simple and deposit the money in a bank for interest. But the catch is that only top banks can guarantee a 2–3% capital increase, considering inflation. Clearly, this option isn't very appealing to most people. Therefore, we have the second one. If you have a bit of knowledge about investing, you might try to invest the money yourself. For example, you could start renting out an apartment, invest in stocks or put into cryptocurrencies. However, if your skills as a kitchen table investor let you down, you risk losing all your money. The third option, you could hand the money over to specialists. They would decide where to invest it and would pay you a relatively stable annual return. Of course, they would also keep a portion for themselves as their salary. Or another option. There are pension funds where people save money to have something in their old age. The owners of the pension fund want to at least counteract the effect on inflation, and if it's possible, make a good profit. They entrust millions, if not billions of dollars to specialists like BlackRock. Similar things are done by some charitable foundations and even corporations. Clearly, your 50 grand is almost nothing compared to the billions managed by these companies. But it's just the most obvious example. BlackRock now controls over $10 trillion. So what exactly do they do? In short, they invest money in stocks, bonds, cryptocurrencies and other similar assets. And what's important, with minimal risk for the investor. They have a team of employees, the most valuable of them being mathematicians, especially those knowledgeable in probability theory, programmers, especially those who can implement this algorithm, professional traders, meaning financial experts who provide the data needed by mathematicians. Together, they have created an algorithm that consistently makes money. It all started with these young people. By 1988, they were all professionals in their fields and had achieved a lot in life. However, we are most interested in just one of them, Larry Fink. He is a professional financier, well-versed in real estate, financial futures, options, mortgage issues, and the host of other complex financial terms. He began his career in 1976 at the investment bank First Boston. In just 10 years, Fink generated $1 billion in revenue for them. But exactly 10 years later, in 1986, he made the biggest mistake of his life. This mistake cost $100 million. After this, he lost his job and the reputation of being the company's top financier. Fink then firmly decided, "I'll never invest in projects where I cannot calculate the risk." And he added, "Even political risk will be calculated." We've now reached the secret weapon of BlackRock. Its name is Aladdin. And it has little in common with the Aladdin you might be thinking of. It's an acronym which means Asset, Liability and Debt and Derivative Investment Network. In 1988, the first version of Aladdin was developed. It was quite primitive compared to what is today, but it was a start. By 2000, Aladdin was fully integrated into the company's operations. Today, this program has 4 centers in different cities and uses 6,000 different computers for calculations. The essence of Aladdin is that it calculates hundreds, if not thousands, of potential price scenarios. The program then determines which scenarios will lead to a price increase and which will lead to a decrease. Based on this, the overall investment risk is assessed. This information, specific to a particular stock, bond, cryptocurrency or other asset, is combined with information about thousands of other assets. Based on this comprehensive data, the program, analyst or both together decide how much to invest in a particular asset. This process helps in diversifying the portfolio. Even if some assets decrease in value, others will cover this loss with their gains. As a result, BlackRock has been profitable for over 36 years. Moreover, the company earns not only from its own investments, but also from selling Aladdin services. Sometimes even direct competitors of BlackRock buy this program. Therefore, they have much more influence than one might imagine. Whether Aladdin works equally well for both BlackRock and its competitors is unknown. There is neither evidence supporting or refusing this theory at present. But what about political risks? Let's take the most commonplace example. Russia attacked Ukraine, and their ruble went out of the chart. Another example. Iran launched missiles at Israel. Immediately the cryptocurrency market plummeted because investors become fearful. Or even less obvious political risks. Recently, Germany decided to sell all its confiscated BTCs, and the market reacted negatively. There are countless such probabilities. Some of them are calculated by Aladdin, and some are managed through BlackRock's connection to politics. The company trick is that it always maintains a good relationship with the US government, regardless of whether Republicans or Democrats are in power. For example, in 2008, BlackRock was entrusted with managing the aftermath of the financial crisis, and they made a significant profit from it. Meanwhile, similar companies, including other investment banks, failed. It turns out that sometimes former politicians become employers of BlackRock, or conversely, employers of BlackRock become politicians. Overall, there is nothing illegal about this. People are simply changing jobs. But whether they share insider information with the company is an interesting question. Nevertheless, BlackRock is now completely official and legal company. A lot of rumors have been spun about it, claiming they control the world, profit from market manipulation and so on. And indeed, when you have 10 trillion under your control, you can do quite a bit. But in fact, there have not been any serious violation of the law. BlackRock shares are officially listed on the New York Stock Exchange. The company office is not located in some basement, but in a normal private skyscraper. The police know very well where BlackRock's headquarters is. Yes, there have been some scandals, such as the company profiting from investing in weapons manufacturers, or financing deforestation or oil and gas companies. BlackRock has also managed to reach an agreement with China, the main US's adversary. And now it is one of the few companies that had legally entered another huge market, larger than the USA. Apparently, Aladdin has interest in the Chinese. But overall, there are not some kind of shadow business. Their earnings are completely official. The only thing is that most ordinary people do not know about the existence of such corporations, which is why certain legends about BlackRock appear. But let's look at the facts. There are shareholders of most of the more or less successful companies in the world. For example, their stake in Apple was valued at $155 billion. BlackRock also officially owns 477,121 Bitcoin. That is around $31 billion. They have invested $136 billion in Microsoft. In Alphabet, the company that manages Google, they have invested $73 billion. And this list can go on and on. To put it simply, the company owns shares in all well-known official companies in the US and around the world. Almost always, BlackRock is among the top 5 largest shareholders of a given business. The same is true for the European Union market. BlackRock itself claims that its participation is completely passive, and it doesn't try to influence the global market. Nevertheless, its potential is massive, and that is an undeniable fact. Do you agree with me? Of course, let me know in the comments. I would be interested to hear your opinion. And now let's meet in one of these videos. See you around!